It's been 2 weeks since I recorded the previous video. As we see, the weather has gotten more autumn-like in Latvia, and I'm ready to take the next step. And I have prepared some notes, and and I hope I won't be eaten by mosquitoes. There are a lot of those today, and forgot to take the anti-mosquito thingy. But anyway, so I want to talk about climate and how it can change very, very quickly. Because right now in the scientific community, and I will provide sources, there is a discussion, a very serious discussion about the possibility that the weather climate in Northern Europe could change drastically and quickly. And at first you might think of global warming, everything getting hotter, but here's the twist of fate. It can get, in Baltics, it can get the other way around, and in the Northern Europe. So what I'm talking about is the possibility that the great conveyor belt of water circulation of Earth can abruptly stop. And I'm talking about AMOC, so AMOC. And this great conveyor belt is basically taking warm water, warm and salty water from the tropics up to the Greenland, and around the place where Greenland is, in the ocean, the water sinks. Cools down, condenses, and sinks down as gets heavier, and then from the depths of ocean it travels back. So what it does, it brings warm water, warm weather up to the Northern Europe, and what we can see, like in Western Europe as well, in the same latitude as in Canada, there is like Siberia-like conditions, but in Europe it's warm. Why? Because of AMOC. So, and why I'm talking at all about AMOC possibility shutting down? Because it has happened before, right at the start and then end of the last ice age. And it has a name. It's called the Younger Dryas event. I have prepared the chart, but it's the other way around. But I will photo it and attach, I guess, it to the video. So the Younger Dryas event, it happened around 12,800 years before our time and before present. And the planet then was warming. The glaciers were melting, and the planet was getting rapidly warmer. But then, abruptly, at around these 12,800 years ago, the northern hemisphere, the temperature suddenly plummeted, got colder, a lot colder, a lot of colder. Basically, what happened is that an ice age began. In the context of all this planetary warming, an ice age began in Northern Europe, and it happened in decades, not in thousands of years, it just in decades. And what happened is that for 1,000 years, in this place where we are right now, in the Baltics, in Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, also upstairs to our northern neighbors, basically the climate was right now you see that there are like trees and fir trees, pines and bushes and so on. So that's gone. Basically, what was is a steppe-like environment, a prairie with the grass and mammoths and steppe bisons grazing. It was basically a grass desert, let's say so. And not the place to be, not the place we want to live. And it continued for some 1,000 years. There was open steppe-like conditions, steppe-like conditions. It was like a grassy desert. Like it actually has a name. You can look it up. It's called Mammoth Steppe, like mammoth, the big animal, and steppe, the place. And there's a Wikipedia page and so on. And for 1,000 years this was happening, and then after 1,000 years of this ice age conditions, the planet again began flipped. The climate flipped, and it got warmer again. So why I'm talking about this? Because it's due to the prime suspect why this Younger Dryas event happened is due to AMOC collapsing, stopped. The AMOC stopped, and the weather became like Canada, let's say so, but in, of course, in local flavor. And why it happened? The prime suspect why it happened is because of this all fresh water melting in Greenland, and this all fresh water was dumped in the sea right where if you remember, the hot water from the tropics had to sink. So what happened is that this salty water was diluted by fresh water, by the melting fresh water from the Greenland glaciers, and it became diluted, and the fresh water is like floating above and not sinking down, and basically it stopped the circulation. And there is a serious scientific debate that AMOC has been observed to be slowing down right now. It's not collapsed, but it's slowing down, and it's the slowest it has been for thousands of years right now. And what we see with the global climate change, everything getting hotter and hotter and hotter due to human-caused climate change, climate crisis. These glaciers are melting everywhere, and also in Greenland. So what can happen is that this same pattern repeats, that we are left in decades with this, in a period of a few decades, we are left with this, basically the different environment, not the beautiful forests and meadows we are accustomed to. And there are several scientific studies, and one from 2023, where the possibility of this AMOC collapse is sort of prognosed at 2057 or around that time. That's the soonest it can happen. Another big study says that not for 100 years, but no study says that this won't happen. And there is big possibility, and the possibility is increasing. I will, next video perhaps will be on the 2025 study. I haven't read it fully yet, but it can happen in our lifetimes, and definitely in our children's lifetimes. And to understand what will happen, what can happen, so again, this chart is not is the other way around, but this is the current global warming, what's happening, like 0.2 degrees per decade. AMOC, like this is the previous AMOC collapse in the Younger Dryas event. It happened 10 times faster, more than 3 degrees in decade. It got colder. So that's that's a huge impact on the environment, on climate, on our food supply, what we can grow. It would impact our carefully balanced agriculture. We would have to resort to, those who live here would have to resort to growing more like roots, but not like barley and wheat and even potatoes. We see what's happening right now with wet climate and so on. So what would this happen? It's not just that we here would get a lot colder weather. The tropics, the rainforests would basically also change where there are. The monsoon seasons would change in Southeast Asia. in east coast of US, the water levels would rise quickly, and our Baltic Sea would become a lot less hospitable for fishes. The fisheries would suffer and plummet, and the fish would die off because of this fresh water and change of salinity and so on. And yeah, I'm really getting eaten by mosquitoes right now. And yeah, it would destroy our current agriculture, our current food supply, and who knows for how long. So the question is, if there are these scientific studies which have this proof that what happened and what can likely happen even in our lifetimes, the fastest prognosis. Why are not we preparing for that? Why are we not building climate resilience more seriously? Okay, let's say it doesn't get cooler here, it gets warmer and warmer. And at some point in time, it will change the salinity level and it would stop the AMOC. So, yeah, basically, all this, what I am concerned is that there is now this discussion in public sphere. It's the politicians don't touch it, ignore it, and also locally, it's not talked what it could do locally. This it could trigger ice age in our Baltic region for 1,000 years, and possibly more, because before that there was no humanity dumping CO2 in atmosphere. So, but in the coming videos, then I will talk more about this, about resilience, how we can build perhaps resilience, how we can prepare our societies, and basically what's coming, because this much change in a decade and in 2 decades more, I do not know whether we can actually adapt to it and where we could migrate if it comes to that, because it would be also climate crisis in the south with the rapid warming. So here we are, and I wish you a nice day.